Hello guys, my name is Rap. Welcome to my second video about Warframe Void missions. We now have the new damage system, damage 2, so I will make the same mission I did the last time with the same frames, same weapons, same thing. Okay, let me choose Frost. This is my corrupted Frost. Only have 2 abilities. I still have to farm this one, and I changed the aura to the rifle damage because this is a Frost to go to defense missions alone, so I have to have the more boost I can have in my weapon, so I decided to change the aura. So I will go with the Burston, but I have to change the damage. I will use the corrosive damage in my primary. My secondary will be the Brakk, like the last time, but this time I'm going to make a little change. So I'm going to put this on slash, but I don't need to change the card. In this card was the slash damage, but I changed it to impact damage, and I will explain that later on in the game why I made that change. As you guys see here, I have lots of impact and a few slash and average puncture. So, but this will make the weapon do less damage, but will be very useful in the last waves, and I'll explain that on the spot. So we are ready to go. Okay, my pet will go with blast damage too, so as you guys see, also with boosted impact, but I'll explain that in gameplay. It's better than talking right now. Okay, we are ready to go. I'm going to change this to solo to be able to pause the game if needed. Okay, where is it? Tower 3 defense. Okay, let's go. The first few waves are very easy, just like the old damage. It's not that different, but in the old damage you built a weapon that serve all the factions. Now you can do damage to all the factions, but it will do more damage to one specific faction. I think it's better now. It forces you to tank your builds, and not all person have the same build on the same weapon, so I think it's a good thing. But DS choose to work with very low numbers in terms of damage, so this may be an issue now, but I think they will fix that in the future. And they also need to boost the enemies because like many players are saying, they find the game from Mercury to Pluto very easy, especially the people that play this game long time. It was expectable because we played this right from the start, so we have all our mods maxed, so of course for us to find a real challenge we have to go further in the game. But this is a choice. If people want to play easy missions, well, they are easy for us, but they are not easy for the ones who start playing now. But I think it is us who play this more time who have to adapt that, and not the other way around, or the new players will come and couldn't pass the first mission. But this is other subject that needs to be discussed, but other time. Okay, I boosted some of my energy because right now we search for energy orbs and we can find them. I don't know why they had changed that, but there's no issue. I have a team energy to refill, and I advise you to, if go to this mission, have ammo, health and energy refillers, because you may need it and the enemies may not drop it. So I'm not going to use the lasers right now because, as you see, the enemies are very easy to deal with, so I will start to use them a little sooner, only to explain, because you have to time the lasers very well, especially when the heavies deploy, because if you have to kill an heavy with your weapon, you will waste too many ammo, and that's why the lasers are here, to help you out. They are your teammates, so make good use of them. This gameplay contain my other video because like I said last time, I decided to make this video because people tend to say that only 2, 3, 4 weapons are viable, but I'm playing with my first built rifle in Warframe. I play with it on the old damage, and I did this mission 20 waves alone with this weapon, like you guys see in my last video. I'm playing with this weapon alone in the new damage, so saying that this weapon is not viable, well, it may not serve all the players, but the fact that the weapon doesn't serve my gameplay doesn't make that specific weapon useless. At least is what I think. And like I already stated, I'm not a skilled player, I'm an average player, so if I can do this with this weapon, a skilled player will do this with his eyes closed, so there's no issue. One thing that I can say is, in this damage it's more hard to do than in the old damage. In the old damage I was never in 20 waves, I was never in danger, in real danger to fail the mission. In this damage there are lots of situations and that can make you fail the mission. It's more hard. There are less waves, but it's far more hard than in the old damage. Maybe because her builds were more powerful than they are now. Another thing is, as you guys already noted, English is not my native language, but I'll try to keep my English understandable as possible, of course. There may be a few words that I can't pronounce, but I'll try to keep things clean as possible. If I was making this video in Portuguese, half of the community or more didn't understand the thing, so of course English is universal, so everyone knows a little of English, or almost everyone, so one thing that I love in this weapon is because of the burst. It shot three fire. It fired 3 shots. Sorry for the mistake. It fired 3 shots. I like this weapon because in this kind of mission, it's very good to keep your ammo at to keep your ammo high. So I will change to my secondary when I need it. That's why I choose a powerful backup weapon. Even with the nerfs that the Brakk suffered this last week, it's still a viable backup weapon. Very viable for this kind of mission, especially this or any other that you are alone and you need a weapon to stop the enemy. Brakk is a way to go. I still didn't agree that you could snipe with the Brakk, but I'm also I understand also the people that are angry because of the nerf. If DA didn't want a powerful weapon in the hand of the players, they should thought that before they give away the weapon. So give away something and then nerf it is just mean. It's mean. There's no other word. We can say that's overpowered. Yes, I agree. I have no issue in that. But give something so powerful or make people grind the way they grinded for 100 missions. Give away a powerful weapon and then nerf it. It's just mean. I prefer that they build tanks in mind. Keep in mind the other weapons that we have and stay that way, then give a very powerful weapon and then 2 months after they nerf it in making a weapon act completely different that it acted in the first place. I'm seeing the same happen to the new Pentagon. I'm already seeing threads about, oh, it's so whoop, it's so whoop. Now people begin to waste formula in the weapon and then the A comes and nerf it. Now I ask, why? Why not make the weapon already with a good balance when compared with the others we have in the market? Why not do that in the first place? Because I believe they don't need the players to say, oh, the gun is very OP, for them to nerf it. I think if they look at the stats, they can see that by themselves. So this is only to create annoying situations. Okay, I'm gonna leave the pod. This is another thing that I usually don't do. I never leave the pod, even when I'm playing with other players, because this mission was built to be played with 4, not with 1. I'm only doing this because I know some people like to farm the primes, sometimes don't have anybody to play, and if we see a way to do that by ourselves, why not do it? I'm not saying that this is better to play alone, because it isn't. It is very hard to play alone, but far from impossible. And I didn't even bring my best weapon. This is the weapon I prefer to play, but if I have to analyze, it's not my best weapon. Ah, the guy is over here. And only if they nerf the damage in this weapon, until I stop playing Warframe, this is always will be my preferred weapon, unless another of this kind was released and be better than this one. Because there are only two burst weapons that are useful to play. Is this one and the Hin, but the Hin, I don't like the Hin. The Hin have the same damage than this one, but its fire rate is a bit laggy. I think it's a problem with the game. I sometimes suffer the same with this one, but not so often as in is almost every mission I feel the laggy rate of fire. Some players may know what I'm talking about. This is got nothing to do with the host, because I suffer this when playing alone, so I'm the host. It got nothing to do with connection. This is a problem with the, I think it's with the game. I mean, okay, I'm going to use the laser now, only to not waste ammo. As I was saying before, I never leave the pod, especially when the fusion mowers start to spawn, because I already made some tests, and if I get staggered far from the pod, it may be enough for them to destroy the pod, so I never leave the pod. I always go loot at the end of the missions, unless we are at the start, because as you guys have seen, the enemies are very easy to kill now, so leaving the pod doesn't put me in any kind of danger. So now the fusion modes begin to spawn. These guys are very annoying, but one thing they have good is the noise they do when they spawn, so you always know when they are coming. You have to be very careful with them, because they can destroy the pod very quickly, but the most dangerous enemy is the heavy enemy with the Gorgon rifle, because they can destroy the pod in seconds, especially the ones in the last 3 waves. If they manage to enter the bubble, they can destroy they can kill you very quickly, and they can destroy the pod very quickly also. So usually the game uses the same path to spawn the enemies. At the start of the waves, you just have to see where they are going to spawn, and usually is in one side and in the other, so you have to use the laser to protect one side and cover the other, and you have to play with that. Don't waste the laser killing only one enemy, because you know they have cooldown, and the game may spawn lots of enemies after, and you don't have the laser to use it. If they are normal enemies, it's not an issue, but if in the middle comes a heavy, that will be an issue because you waste too many ammo to bring them down. I always try to use the lasers to kill them, so sometimes it's not possible, but we have to try the same way. My first target is always the shield osprey because they boost the shields of them, and I don't need to waste too many ammo trying to kill them first if I destroy the shield osprey right from the start. Okay, I'm going to change to my secondary to keep my ammo high. As you guys see now, the Brakk, the projectile drops very fast, so the moment you learn the drop distance, you see that until there it's still very useful. This and the gremlins are the only backup weapons I bring when going very high in a game. So because it is the weapons I find most effective to deal with high armor enemies. Of course there will be others, but these two are my favorites. I also like the Vasto, double Vasto, but the Vasto, when I began to use the gremlins, I stopped using the Vasto. I still use them in some normal missions, alerts that I do, but I usually don't bring them to high defense or high survival missions. It's still too soon to explain how I choose the impact, but more 2 or 3 waves and I can explain that. Because when we are building our weapons, we have always the damage in account, but sometimes damage is not the most important. especially when you are overrun very easily when doing this kind of mission. I prefer to have crowd control over damage, inflicted damage, but this is me. Another thing is always try to keep your bubble up. Don't forget. Don't forget your bubble, because in more advanced stage, if your bubble go down, it may mean they will kill you very quickly. It all depends if you get staggered or not, but sometimes we are killing the enemies and we forgot about the bubble, but try to always keep that in mind. It may save your life. Another enemy we have to take very attention is the drone, because the fusion mowers sometimes release the drone over there near the stairs, and as you guys are seeing, I'm working with a very big bubble. Why? To fire the lasers without exposing myself to enemy gunfire. So my bubble, it's here to here. It covers all this area. This is my gameplay area. I never leave this area, and when I was saying to do not let the heavies enter the bubble, it's because if the heavy enter the bubble, because there are other enemies in there, you are forced to leave the bubble, and outside the bubble you cannot fire inside them. So it only will cause you a lot of trouble. You may still deal with the situation, but this is something we should avoid at all costs. There's no need to make things more hard than it's supposed to be. Okay, another one. another thing is, don't think that the game only spawn in this side and that side, because I was thinking that right now. Right from the start there was the only place the game spawn, but sometimes they will spawn from there or over there, and you are only defending these 2 points, and if it is an Asian, you get staggered by behind. And well, you all know that sometimes a little seconds is what the enemy needs to create a very hard situations for us to deal. So I usually release the bubble in this position, but I also take a look on the others, because the game likes to spawn enemies from time to time behind me. So because we don't have a teammate to look our back, we have to be prepared for that, and don't get caught off guard, because if we are at the early stage it's easy to deal with them, but at later it will be very, very tough, even to bring this guy down, this or this one, because they have I think now the scaling is more quick. Yes, there are less waves, but even when comparing to before, I think now it's the enemies at the same level are more hard in terms of armor. I don't think the same about the infested or even the corpus, but the Garnier, all enemies that have armor, the same enemy now are more tough to deal than before. And yesterday, when they released the patch that made the stacking of armor with health, I was doing this mission, and in the last 3 waves, well, I just got through hell. You shoot, and they wouldn't go down. I was thinking to myself, so what's the difference? They are still spawns, but then when I go to the forum, I read that in the patch they made the armor stacked with health, and this wasn't intended to do. So I think now it's more easy to deal with them. Oh, there is a guy over here. He must be waiting for someone. I hope this video helps some of us to surpass this mission. I know that lots of people think this is a very, very hard mission to do well. It is hard. It is hard if you don't have the correct setup. But if you choose your setup carefully and you time your actions well, don't go Rambo, and you will not have an issue. Well, it may not work every time, but it still give you some insight of when you fail, what you could did better, and we are always learning. We are in a learning process. At least is what I think. I like to challenge myself. I'm not the kind of person who put my best weapons, go do Mercury, and then go to the floor and say the game is too easy. I may think that, but I'm not going to say that, because if I started playing Warframe today, it's sure the game was very hard for me, so I always try to put in other shoes. I had the luck to make some good friends when I start playing, and they helped me a lot, so that is what I try to do with others too. I don't need to gain something, because I don't do that to gain something, but I sure don't think that gives me any bragging rights, because bragging in a PvE game, well, it's just not my thing. Not even in a competitive game. But I play for fun, and that is always my objective. My main objective is play for fun, have fun. That's why at the start of the video I said I'm not making this to say that this mission is to be done alone. No, this is a mission built to be done with friends, but to do this alone is a very, very good challenge. Sometimes it even make you perform better in other missions, because you start to be a player that think more and act less. We have to think before we act, because thinking in a way to dealing with something may sometimes save your ass. Another thing that I like to say is, even today, even now, I'm recording the mission and I don't know if I can be successful, because this sometimes a mistake can jeopardize your outcome. So please don't go down if you fail the first time or the second time. It's normal. No, nothing to be, oh, I said. No, man, this is very tough to do. And sometimes the game creates very, very tough situations. So I don't know if I'm going to complete the mission, but I personally don't have any problem with fail a mission. I'm still learning something. So, but there are mistakes that can be avoidable, and that ones is the ones that I ask for you to think before you act. Okay, I'm going to change to my primary again, and I'm gonna use this boost because I don't want to use the very few ammo that are in the ground. This game still have a issue. It always drop more ammo for the weapons you are not carrying than for the weapons you are carrying. This is a issue since I start playing Warframe, and they should already change that. It may drop shotgun, sniper, but in less quantity than the rifle, because most of the time players are with rifle, and most ammo in the floor are for shotgun or sniper, as you are seeing here. It is a little annoying, but that's why I said to always bring a refiller. It takes a little time, but you can use the intermission, 10 seconds. Okay, 6. Now heavy is going to start spawn. We have to be very careful with them. And okay, this is why I choose to boost the impact. It gives me the knockdown ability, and when they are knocked down they cannot fire at me, so this is very, very useful, especially when the game throw at you at the pod lots of fusion MOAs and nations. It gives you precious seconds to deal with a situation that with other weapon you wouldn't have, or without other configuration you wouldn't have. If I have the normal configuration, I still did lots of damage, but I wouldn't knock them down so easily. Oh, forget my bubble. I still have a little impact in this weapon, but this weapon wasn't built with the impact in mind. So, impact in my Burston is the lower physical damage I have. So, because this armor is built to deal with armor. Oh, this is a heavy here. I didn't see him at first. The other time he caught me off guard because he spawned behind me. I didn't look behind, so when I felt his presence, he was right behind me. I had a little luck because he was able to stagger me, to knock me down. Because I ran to the other side of the pod, but it was a very fun situation. Okay, wave clear. Keep in mind that now tanks will going to be very, very hard. The last 5 waves, I usually say welcome to hell. see? I'll knock them down all. Oh my god, a heavy man. I didn't see him. This is very annoying because they hide behind the Asians and you don't see them, and they are very tough to deal with, especially if they enter the bubble. Because if I hide behind the pod, they will start firing the pod, so that is not an option. So I'm forced to be out of the bubble. And I will be exposing myself to gunfire, so I can honestly say that the very few times the heavies entered the bubble, I only survived 2 times. I was only able to deal with that situation successfully 2 times. Well, but in one of them, there were 1 heavy inside the bubble and 2 outside, so it was very hard for me to survive that situation without dying. But at least I tried. Well, I failed the heavy. Oh. Well, 4 heavies. This is not happening. Well. The 4 are down. Nah, I had a little luck here now, but this is how you're supposed to use the lasers. If you guys noted, 2 of them were walking to behind cover. If they had successfully hide themselves behind cover, I used the laser and only had killed 2 of them. And then had a little cooldown to be able to use the laser again. You see how their armor now begins to be very tough to deal with, and these guys are only light armor units. Okay, 3 waves to go. Whoa! We have to be careful with these guys. These guys always come running at you. Okay, I'm going to use the laser. I hope that the game doesn't spawn any heavy. I don't like to use the laser to kill light units after the heavy start spawn, because the game can throw at me like before, may throw 1 or 2 heavies and I don't have lasers to kill them. And if I have to use my weapons, I will waste too many ammo to kill them. Which is what I try to avoid. I have refillers, but there is no need for you to waste ammo if you can kill them very easily with the laser. I use the laser now, and the game spawned 2 heavies for me. Just like I was saying. I'm going to refill my ammo. I'm seeing very few drops here, so I'm going to refill a little. Okay, last 2 waves. So far so good. You guys see why I boosted the impact? This gives me precious time to deal with these guys now. Because they are in the ground, they cannot fire at me, so... Nor at me, nor at the pod, so... It's a win-win situation. I do less damage, but I can control the situation, and if I had a boosted weapon in damage, I wouldn't have the ability to knock them down so easily like I'm doing it now. Like I said before, sometimes damage it's not all. You have to be clever in your choices, because first you are alone, you don't have any kind of help besides the lasers, and the lasers only have one position. They cannot move around the map, so it's not the same time as a teammate, but you can use them very well if you use them wisely. Whoa. Good. 69. Okay, last wave. I was going to use the laser, but I'm not going to use because the heavy is behind cover, so I'm going to wait a little, deal with these guys, and he's now behind cover again. I'm going to wait that he's on open field to be sure that I'm going to take him down with the laser. Now. Okay, he's done. This is the kind of decision that you have to be clever, because yes, there was many enemies in the open, but the heavy wasn't in the open, and he must be the high priority target, because he is the most difficult to kill. I prefer to use the laser and kill only one heavy and deal with the others myself, than the other way around, kill all the others and deal with the heavy myself. But this is me. I don't like to make tanks more hard than they should be, so another drone. These guys are just annoying. Okay, I'm going to loot the place. There is only this enemy. Okay, we're done. Okay, this is a little different from the other video, because in the old damage I was never in danger. In 20 waves, even when I made a mistake and used the laser without wanting to do so, I was never in danger in 20 waves, and in this damage being 15 waves, you guys see that in the last waves there are situations very hard to deal with, and the fact that I chose to benefit impact in Brakk over slash, it helped me a lot, because like I said, if you have the ability to knock down the enemy, if the enemy is knocked down, he cannot shoot you or the pod. So it gives you a few seconds to help you decide or think what to do. Well, it's all for today. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, see you around. Thanks.